So, this one is the special event quest for Chapter 5. The Mage Ilias. I greet you, so we have finally entered the Astral Nexus. That's a perfect time. Let me first ask who you are. My name is Ilias, and I come from Fornax. My journey to the astral plane was recently successful with a lot of preparation. I knew that someone from Avalon would be entering the Nexus soon, and so I waited outside this portal here. How did the shaman not notice you? As I said, I made a number of preparations to project myself here. Among them was a disguise spell that keeps me hidden, but at the same time doesn't let me interfere anywhere, so I wanted to ask you for a favor. So that's the reason why his cord, which leads to the real world, can't be snipped by the shaman because they don't know that he's here. Which favor? I've seen a vision how the shaman terrorized people in their dreams. I also know that you're trying to put an end to this. I can't help you with that, but we can use the same weapons on the Ahul, if you know what I mean. I was also able to activate a portal in my quarters recently. It's best to go through the portal further west to Fornax. We can meet there. I'll activate it for you. That sounds like a mission I can't resist to accept. Wonderful. I'll be waiting there in my hut for you. Leave. Can we take him again? Nope, we can't. So we need to go to Fornax, and as we know from Pillars of Avalon, Fornax is somewhere here. Well, Philius, the old necromancer, servus. So, just some Naga who get killed easily, of course. They are no match for us. Maybe as a mage if we get too close to somebody. Or the same goes for scout, but as a fighter, no chance. So, and here is the portal to Fornax. And we can open it because Ilias allowed us to do so. My preferred playstyle? It's a good question. In general, I would say fighter. But it's maybe also a question which story we play. So, for Ashes of Avalon, of course it's fighter. Maybe you can also see that because the additions I added for Ashes of Avalon are more likely for the fighting styles. But if we go for Days of Ahul, I think it's the mage one. For Siege of Avalon, on the other hand, yeah, I think it's the warrior one, but also the scout, because of the special parkour you need to absorb when you are in the crypt for. I do love Shadow Scout, really enjoyed the mage playstyles too. Yeah, well, the Shadow Scout is of course funny and more likely quite easy, especially if you play with patch, because otherwise many of those enemies have the title Agnosed Elf. But I think at some time the Shadow Scout playstyle gets a little bit boring, I would say. Yeah. The mage, on the other hand, in Siege of Avalon, so the main story is, I don't know. It's yeah, it's quite funny, but how do I say? You don't have this much improvement in spells, at least before the patch. Yeah. So you don't have. Okay, you have improvements like the Frost and Flame spell, which get enhanced by the spellbooks, but you can't learn them by yourself, and that's what I'm missing. But well, yeah, With patch you can learn it. Anyway. Scout does get boring after about 30 minutes of oppositionless battles. I find whenever you are in the melee range it can get sticky because you get mobbed so badly. Yeah, that's true. But in that case, maybe I would recommend to play Scout style with some companions. Like another Scout and a fighter. Or something like that. Then you don't need always the shadow spell because the code goes like this. If the character does not track the bowman, then the bowman does immense damage. The companion's the bane of my existence. Oh, well, if you know what you're doing, then you can play with companions too. But you need to know what you're doing. And maybe it's a little bit yeah, how should I say, in Siege of Avalon it can be quite hard, but for Ashes of Avalon it is also a bit funny because those companions you get in chapter 3 do their job, at least at a decent amount of time. So, we need to talk to Ilias. So, you've made it to the portal. Before we get started, may I perhaps know your name? My name is Fornaxevent. Well, I definitely do not. In Soa, I feel like a toddler traversing the world. Yep. I think it's a little problem also because if you play in full HD, you will find it a bit better, or you will see that companions work better in the native resolution, in 800 to 400. Because it's quite a... yeah, the code is a bit complex about the fighting style of warriors, especially. When do they have to track an enemy, when do they have to follow the player then again, and so on. And the higher the resolution, the higher the variety of those values gets. Yeah, and then a battle gets more complicated. Very well then, Sir Fornaxevent. Let me first explain what this is all about. I listen. The shaman, or rather the dreamwalkers, have found a way to use the astral plane to summon and manipulate people's spirits while they are dreaming. We can do that too. However, it is unlikely to work with a shaman due to their powerful magic abilities. However, we can invade the minds of the Ahul hunters to make their hunt more difficult. Are there no risks involved? A magician called Pell told me that under no circumstances should I walk around in the astral plane with my spirit, as the shaman would recognize me immediately and sever the cord connecting my body, which would lead to my death. That's true, but we are going to do things a little differently. First I will create a plane that connects the hunter's dreams. I will then send you there. I don't know why this is possible for me right now. It wasn't like this a short time ago. Perhaps the dreamwalkers themselves are to blame for. I also know some protective spells that will protect your cord from being cut if a shaman should discover you on your plane. On this plane. So the thing is, why is he able to do that? Because the Astral Guardian is captured and can't protect the Astral Plane to call someone's soul into a plane. So the same reason why the Dreamwalkers are able to, yeah. Well, then I will trust you on this. When can we begin? As soon as you are ready. Fortunately, many of the Ahul hunters are asleep right now, as we had a lot to do last night. Yeah, what did they do? Huh? We remember of chapter 4, when a dead men walked through their village. Where was I? Here. I made some preparations beforehand, trusting that you would take on the task. Once you have done so, you will find a portal that will reconnect your spirit with your body and transport you back on the astral plane. Find me again at the portal to Avalon afterwards. I will be waiting there. What do I have to do on the plane you have created? This is actually quite simple. Defeat the Shahul there. It would be like one of the most terrible nightmares they experienced. With the help of my suggestion, you are a terrible monster which haunts them. That sounds perfect for me. Let's get started. He speaks a magical formula and your spirit rises into the air. You can still see your body lying on the ground for a short time before everything around you dissolves into mist. Enter. So, what should we do? We should kill all those Ahul hunters. And of course, they are a little bit transparent, as it's just their soul there. Some engine problems, or rather, which is not able to do so without engine changes to make the player like this. So as we can see, we are not transparent, but that's just a small detail. So never mind. And of course, I don't think if everyone would have recognized that if I wouldn't have said. So this map is not that small. But we need to find those damn Shahul. So yeah, this quest is like quite a small quest. Smaller than the Aratoin one. Or maybe... yeah, it's smaller. And of course, because we are more skilled now, it's even faster to absolve that quest. Of course, we also have some scouts like who wielding a sword. Why not? The main reason is to make it a little bit more difficult, because then the hunters will deal more damage. So, some Ahul still here. Yep. Still someone left, I think. At least there has to be someone. Because otherwise, I think we would get an hint. Ah yeah, there he is. Did I get training points before? I don't think so, because I only get training points when I killed everyone. We will see, because if not, then the portal isn't open. Yep. So, just a small surprise. That could be a little bit difficult. Yep. But we have to kill them, and we are quite an overlord. And still a lot of training points left. And back to the astral plane. Yep. And I think, yep, the portal doesn't open anymore. Because why should it? Of course, because I wanted to spare some time, to save some time in work. Otherwise I would have to write a little bit more of conversation to Mage Ilias. Yeah. just that easy. And now we talk to Ilias again. At least to his soul. Ah, so you're back, with success, I presume. I have completed your mission. Excellent, Sir Seppi. Your efforts shall not have been without a reward. Take this chain cloth that I have enchanted. It will serve you well. 1,000 thanks, wise Ilias. I will now have to move on. May the good spirits protect you. Whee! And the chain cloth is an enchanted one, with some protection against heat, cold, electric. Das war's dann auch mit dieser Runde. Dieser Event ging relativ schnell um. Hat auch damit zu tun, dass man ja etwas stärker ist als im Kapitel 2 zum Arator-Event. Jedenfalls sehen wir uns das nächste Mal wieder. Dann zum Zwergen-Event. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Servus.